Very good afternoon to all of you, to all the staff members joined here, all the students joined here. I can remember the very first day that I joined Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka before 6 years back. Like you all, I also was an enthusiastic individual, and I can tell you surely that your enthusiasm will never end at Faculty of Applied Sciences, Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka. So, welcome to the second session of Orientation Inaugural Program. You're well aware that in all degree programs, to finalize the degree program, English as a language is a must. And also, we are having all our lectures and exams conducted in English language. Not only to succeed in university, English is a must to succeed in career and your life. Faculty of Applied Sciences is providing you much more opportunities to become excellent in English with the leadership and guidance of Mr. Derek Silva. Mr. Derek Silva is having more than 15 years of experience in teaching English for BSc degree programs in Faculty of Applied Sciences. He was the coordinator of ELTU of university and was the university coordinator at many occasions. He is highly qualified English instructor with a Master of Arts in Linguistics. So I welcome Derek Sir, now working as head English Language Training Unit, Faculty of Applied Sciences, Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka, to provide an introduction to intensive English program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Sandhini, for giving a brief introduction. And good afternoon to you all, the members of the staff and my dear students. So it is actually with great pleasure that I'm going to brief you on the intensive English program conducted as part of the orientation program of the Faculty of Applied Sciences. So before that, I would like to give you an introduction regarding the purpose, right? What is the purpose of this course or the intensive program, right? So actually the purpose is to make the students ready to begin their degree courses in the Faculty of Applied Sciences, right? So as it was mentioned earlier, all the degree programs in the Faculty of Applied Sciences are conducted in English medium, and all the academic related activities are also conducted in the medium of English. So therefore, it is very necessary for you to acquire a good command of the language, right? So I'm sure that most of you have done your advanced level examination either in Sinhala or Tamil medium. But now you're going to shift your medium of instruction very quickly to English. So it is going to be a kind of challenge, right? But you have to take this challenge very positively. You have to look at this challenge as a kind of stepping stone in your life. So regarding the English program, so this the whole course consists of 14 days with 28 sessions. Right? So there will be 2 sessions per day, one session in the morning and the other one in the afternoon. The morning one will be from 8 to 10, and in the evening from 3 to 5, right? So except Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So on Wednesdays, Saturdays, Sundays, we don't conduct English classes for you, right? So regarding the groups, all the students of the Faculty of Applied Sciences, I mean the freshers, are divided into 7 groups department-wise, right? So you will be in your own groups throughout the course. We are not going to change your groups, and you are also not allowed to change your groups. And as for the resource persons, I'm happy to say that we have a qualified panel of resource persons who will work as facilitators, right, to help you improve your English language competencies. You have to consider yourself lucky because you are going to have 8 resource persons to be with you in the journey of improving the language skills throughout this course. And next about the content, right? So with regard to the content of the course, all the language skills like speaking, listening, reading, writing, and language structure, that is grammar, will be dealt with throughout this course, right? So actually this is a challenge, right? And it is with pride that I would say that we have taken up this challenge of handling all the language skills online with the constant guidance of the Dean of the Faculty of Applied Sciences and the Orientation Committee, right? So just imagine this one, right? So just imagine a doctor trying to treat an unknown, unseen patient for an unknown disease. So we have got the same challenge like that. We are going to teach you English without knowing you, without knowing your standards of English, and even without knowing what the specific language skills that you need. So you can see the gravity of this challenge. And we can easily take this challenge because I think that you are a well motivated group, right? This English program has specially been designed for you, right? It is to encourage you, right, to improve your language skills. So therefore, I would request you to attend the sessions regularly and actively. Your regular and active participation will help us to diagnose the strengths and weaknesses you have with regard to language learning. Then we can have an idea of what to teach and what not to teach, and what to do and what not to do with certain groups and with certain individuals. And with regard to this language learning, right? So it is very necessary for us to draw the connection between the language and the content or the subject that you are going to learn, right? Some of you may have the idea that, of course, we don't want English. We don't. English is not necessary for us to pass the exams. So if you have such idea, so I think it is wrong and you are in the wrong track, right? So you got through your advanced level with fine colors, right? And now just think how language help you, right, to achieve such success. If you were weak in language, you would not be able to achieve such grades that you have obtained. Right? So you should know the real connection between the subject matter, the subject and the language. Right? The language helps you to excel in your studies. When you excel in your studies, it will help you to improve your language also. So therefore, they help each other and enhance each other in the journey, right? So please keep that in mind, right? So don't try to be dependent only on the subject matter, ignoring the language part. And of course, we are going to end this intensive English program after 14 days. But of course, that is not the end of the course. That is the beginning of another step. Right? So when you enter the faculty or when you start your academic studies in the first semester, right, still we have to continue English. Right? So therefore, I would like to take this opportunity just to brief you on the English syllabus that we are having at the Faculty of Applied Sciences. So the English component is divided into three sections called General English, Academic English, and Business English. All these components are compulsory. Like the compulsory requirements in order to get the degree. In the first uh, 2 semesters, you will be dealing with general English. That is English for general purpose. Right? The focus is to help you enhance your general communicative competence, coupled with grammatical accuracy and contextual appropriacy. At the end of the semester, we are going to evaluate. Right? So this is how we are going to evaluate. There will be an end semester examination for which you will get 60%. And while the semester is being conducted, some continuous assessments will be held in relation to different language skills, right? And 40 marks will be awarded for the continuous assessment. So that means before going to the end semester examination, you have 40 with you, right? 40 marks with you, right? And the pass mark is of course 40%, that is D plus, right? So in the first 2 semesters, you will learn more basic things regarding the language. And sometimes we may be dealing with some subject, so some language items that you already know. Perhaps some of you know certain language items that you are going to deal with, right? And some of you may not know anything about that, but it doesn't matter, right? If you feel that you are quite good in English and you are okay with your language, then your duty and the responsibility is to help your brothers and sisters to improve their language, right? So thereby you are giving a good great help for them, right? So therefore, please come forward, right? Come forward and be active in learning the language, right? And also, when we learn the language, it is very necessary for us to have a kind of positive attitude towards the language learning. If you think that English is not a good language, it is not our language, right? It is a language of the foreigners, and we don't want to learn any of those languages. We are against English. Right? So, like that, if you build up a kind of negative attitude, it is a barrier to learn English, right? And actually, English is no longer considered as the property of the British or the English people now. It is spoken throughout the world as the first, second, or link language or an international language. Now it has become the property of the whole world, right? So therefore, we are going to learn English. It is not because we don't like our mother tongue, but we keep our mother tongue, we respect our mother tongue. At the same time, we should master the English language. That is mainly because that is the language that we are going to use in our academic career. So therefore, I always encourage you to have a positive attitude towards learning English. Be positive and be helpful, right? And also, you have to use the language. It is also very necessary, right? So we give you opportunities to use the language. In the Faculty of Applied Sciences, you have got a lot of opportunities, lot of chances to use the language actually and contextually, right? So therefore, you are lucky that you have this opportunity, the environment of using the language. So we have to use it. If you don't use it, it is very difficult to learn, right? So language learning is a very natural process. Don't have or don't build up any fear for English. Just think of how you have learned your mother tongue. What is it that you did in order to learn your mother tongue, right? So if I ask you that question, I can ask that question from myself also. What is it that I did to learn my mother tongue? Of course, I did nothing, right? So when we learn our mother tongue, we do nothing. We just play around with mud and sand and water and all that. But we acquire language, right? So that is a very natural process. It is not necessary to have an extra intelligence to learn a language, right? So therefore, treat the learning of language as a natural process. Treat it, right? So if we can follow the same method in learning a second language also, that will be very effective, right? That is to use the language in the environment, right? The Faculty of Applied Sciences provides you with the environment of English, with the environment where you can use your language, right? When we use the language, of course, we acquire the language. So actually, it is said that a language is not learned. A language is acquired. Right? Language is acquired rather than learned. So therefore, be ready to acquire the language. Right? Don't think that I am learning a language. Just think that I am acquiring a language. Right? Even during this intensive course that we are going to conduct for you, and even after the course, and when you start your semester activities, right? So just feel free, right? Don't build up any pressure in you to towards language learning. And I'm sure that there are some of you who have totally neglected the English language aspect from childhood and somehow neglected after ordinary level. Of course, during advanced level, only a few of the students concentrate on English, right? So we have totally neglected that part. And there can be many students among you who have failed in all level English language, right? But don't take it as a burden. Right? Don't think that I fail my all level English. I am not good in English, so I don't like English. Don't think like that, right? If you fail in your O level English, be happy, be courageous, right? Start all over again. Start all over again, right? And concentrate and dedicate to your language learning. Spend more time with the language, and it will really help, right? Fail in the O level English or fail in the advanced level general English is not a barrier for you to develop your English language skills in the Faculty of Applied Sciences. That is why we have introduced the general English program in the first 2 semesters for you to be familiar with English and to avoid all types of fears and negative attitudes if you already have. So therefore, please take this opportunity to improve the language skills, right? And then we move on. I would like to move on to the second year. In the first year, we'll have general English. So as I told you, and please uh, be active, be positive in learning the language, right? So I would repeat, learning a language is a natural process, right? Don't worry about that. So just try to feel free, right? And just try to think how you learn your mother tongue. We'll try to follow the same way, right? We try to create, and we have already created an environment, right? Even in the faculty, right? So it is true that we learn all our subjects in English, but how about the communication, right? Do you Are you willing to communicate in English in the faculty, among the students, and with the staff, right? So if you are willing, that would be a great step. That would be a very wonderful step in your language learning, right? So therefore, please use English among yourself. Actually, now we are at a distance, right? The circumstances do not allow us to get together and use language, but as far as possible, try to use this language among yourself. So that will be very helpful in learning. And of course, those who are fluent, those who are quite okay, please use English with the others so that they will learn from you. So you should be happy that others are learning from you, right? So the strong ones should help the weaker ones in the faculty of applied sciences, and we should march together. We don't want to drop anybody because of the language. And then moving on to the second year, where we have introduced academic English for you, right? So the main purpose of introducing an academic English component to our syllabus is to help you develop academic competency, academic communication, right? How do you communicate academically? So that is our focus in the second year, first two semesters. With regard to the evaluation process, so it won't change. So there will be a end semester examination for which you get 60 marks. And while we are conducting the semester, so we will give you continuous assessments, and for which you get 40%, right? So please participate regularly in the English sessions in the faculty also, right? So with regard to the third year, in the third year, we will introduce academic competency,
Dear students, give us a minute. We are having a small technical difficulty. We will get back to you soon. Please wait.
Burn eyes.
Excuse us for a moment. We are experiencing
Burn eyes.
a small technical difficulty. We will get back to you soon.
Burn eyes. Burn eyes. Burn eyes. Burn eyes.
I'm sorry, disconnected. Right? Okay. So I was in the uh, last part of my speech, right? Introducing the business English component, right? So the purpose of introducing this business English component to the existing syllabus was that, right? So we want to make the graduates competent to handle in to handle any given situation that they have to encounter in their what do you call this working field, right? So that is the purpose. So the overall aim, right? The overall aim of our English curriculum is to make the graduates competent in using the language uh, grammatically, right, with accuracy, competently, and with contextual appropriacy in any given situation. So therefore, please take the maximum use of this course. So that is actually all I have to share with you at the moment. So thank you very much again, the yes, for giving me this opportunity to address the students in a brief manner. So thank you very much, and I wish all the students all success. Wish you a bright future.
Thank you so much, sir. With the prevailing situation of the country, teaching learning process has become an online endeavor. Therefore, we all need to have a clear understanding on how this teaching learning process is happening online. Therefore, and also, we need your utmost support, highly essentially, to make that teaching learning process a success. Thus, I invite Mr. K. Banajan to provide students an understanding about Zoom Code of Conduct. Mr. Banajan is a lecturer from Department of Computing and Information Systems, and he also was a proud graduate from the very department. So I invite Mr. K. Banajan to start the session on Zoom Code of Conduct. Thank you.
Okay, so very good evening, all of you. So on behalf of this orientation committee and as well as on behalf of the lecturer of the Faculty of Applied Sciences, I would again like to welcome you all for the Faculty of Applied Sciences, Sabaragamuwa, Sri Lanka. And I wish you all a very happy and successful time here, even though you are not in physically. So I hope you will enjoy the time. And once you come physically, you will get more and more enjoying in here. And when it comes to this given current circumstances, the Sabaragamuwa University will look a little bit different, right? So uh, you can think like, okay, so what is in there? You might have seen some photos, and you might have seen some kind of video clips, and you might have talked with different people who have already been in here. But when you come here, you can enjoy the true beauty of the Sabaragamuwa, right? And we will work together to maintain this health and safety standard. So since I feel like, according to my feeling, like, so this somehow going to continue for a period of time. So even though the vaccination and everything are going on, so we will fight together against this, and we will sustain. At the same time, we have to sustain our academic excellence and personalized attention that is synonymous with this SUSL education, right? And I encourage you to think about how you will move forward every day toward earning your certificate or degree at the reach of your graduation stage. So even though that is not only the goal of you, so you have to have some time allocated for that graduation as well. So this is the period of time, golden period of time, you can explore a lot of things, right? and you can take the advantages of many services throughout this, which we can deliver you. For example, you will be given some student emails, that mean the affiliated emails, and the many different forums to join, participate, and work on different societies rather than the academic activities. So I think all of the lecturers who have done their part previously during the orientation have already said the same. So without any further ado, I will just wanted to move towards my part in here for the using the Zoom and Zoom code of practice. So mostly, so your academic, once the academic is started, and during this English intensive English courses as well, so we'll be using the Zoom as the major platform to educate you, right? So we are going to we are going to uh, join together in the Zoom platform, right? So for that, so I think almost all of you might have the chance, like have might have undergone this Zoom platform, but it is our duty to provide some kind of a session for you to understand this one, because there might be a few who doesn't have any experience with this one, right? So as the first part, so here I'm going to tell you how to join a Zoom session or a lecture. So normally through the Gmail or learning management system, which we will train you at the later part of the orientation. So the lecturer, a particular lecturer will send you a link to join the session. So this will be a kind of like this. I actually have a black that been darkened this area because of this privacy issues, but you will be given a full length link and the meeting ID and passcode. So you can join either way using the link by clicking simply the link and using the meeting ID and passcode. So for that, it's better you can have a Zoom client in your desktop PC or laptop or in your mobile, right? So whatever the electronic device you are using, so you need to have the Zoom client, so which you can download in the Play Store or in a website, right? If it's the PC one. So once you click that link, so you will be seeing a message like this one. If you have clicked before the lecture has started that lecture, right? So please wait, the host is starting the meeting. So in case if you click the link once the lecture is started, this will not be like this one. So you can directly get into the lecture, right? So then if you went to that link a little bit early, you will be seeing this one. So once the lecturer start that meeting, so then you will be in, right? So that's the general, very basic procedure to get into the Zoom session, right? Then simply we will be talking about the muting and unmute. So that one mostly everybody might have known. So in the bottom left-hand corner, you will be seeing a button like this one. So actually you got to see through that green. So that green is because of I recorded that Zoom session which held with me and my friend. So here you can see this mute button, and this is my name in that session. So therefore you can see a muted button. So red color with the cross in there. So a symbol for the mic and the cross in there. I mean, you are muted. And once you unmute it, you can't see, you will not be able to see anything in here. That means you are unmuted. So whatever you are talking in your side can be heard by the others in that session, right? So you have to be very careful. So I will be telling what to do, when to mute and when to unmute, and those kind of things during the code of practice session in the later part of this one, right? And the next one is how to turn on the video, right? So the simply next to the mute unmute button, so you will be able to see some button called with the icon of video. So if you click it, the video will be turned on. So if you have enough, that means like if you have a device, a video device in your machine, that means in case of mine currently, I don't have any webcam because I am not able to have my laptop with me. So I don't have a video to turn on. So therefore, it will not work for me now. Otherwise, I might can show you. You can see it from the other lecturers. Right? They might have turned on their video in the earlier sessions, right? The next part is that utilizing the chat. So you can feel that I am going a little bit faster, but since it is the basic things. And you can download this video later on. And that means the YouTube video which you are watching now, you can later on and you can see it if you have any issues, or you can refer the document which is shared by the faculty yesterday, or you can go to the Zoom help page. So there are a lot of ways you can get to know about this Zoom if you have any clarifications, right? And there's another option there called Zoom chat. So it is might be the fourth icon from the bottom. Um, and if you click that, so you can have a simple side window, like this one in the right hand panel. So there itself you can see this that Zoom chatting panel, right? So chatting panel. So in there, so there are two things I need to mention. So in the bottom of that chat box, you will be able to see the two part means, so to whom you are going to send the message or chat. So there are mostly in most of the lectures, you will be able to see two kind of option: to everyone or to that particular host. The host can be the lecturer. The host will be the lecturer. So in this case, the physical science, that's one I get help to record this to get a screenshot. So this is the host. In some other occasions, so all the participants in that particular Zoom session can be there. So you can click any one of them, either of them, you can chat with them, right? So that's the chat option in there. So with further moving on that one, so you can select either everyone or you can select either the particular host, and you can start typing. So you can start typing the relevant thing related to that particular session. So either it can be doubt or something you need to ask, or a comment you need to give, whatever the thing you need, you can just type, and you have to just press enter to send it, right? So hello, good morning is the text I just typed in here. And from there, so from me to everyone is there, and from their that side, so they have sent us a reply. So from that host, I received a reply like a hi, right? So this is how a normal chat will work in this Zoom session. So I hope you are coming with me. So I'm really very sorry that we could not able to give you a hands-on experience through this session now because of lengthy number of participants. Okay, moving to the next one. So the next one will be the raise hand and reaction option. So why I am telling these things now is, so these things might need at a later part when I'm explaining you the code of practice. So you have to follow some set of rules and regulation during the Zoom session. So for that session, for that part, you need to have an understand of these things, right? And the raise hand and reaction option, so it might be different in different machines. So there are two ways are there, that depending on the version of the Zoom the host is using or the client is using, that depending on that will vary. So normally in some machines you can see the raise hand option in the reaction, right? So if you there will be a button called reaction. If you click it, you can see raise hand, that button in the bottom, and there will be some more reactions like clap or thumbs up or laugh or wow and heart, like, and many other will be there, and the raise hand option will be separately placed. So we need to use that. So when the situation comes, I will let you know what is the point of having this one. So you can use this raise hand. So if you click the raise hand, so under above your name, that means if you have video fed open or whatever the case, there will be a small hand like that option. So it is very similar to raising hands at the classroom. So when you are going to ask something, so you will raise the hand, sir may, something like that. So in that case, similar to that one, the Zoom is somehow helping us to provide to make the sessions as a reality. So these are some kind of examples that how the sessions we can create in a reality. So in reality, if you want to ask a question, so sir, excuse me, madam, excuse me, and that you will raise the hands. So similar option is in here, right? And plus moving to the next one. after your clarification is cleared. So when you do this one, the particular lecturer or particular person who is conducting the session can able to see. So then he will ask, okay, right, mentioning your name. So whatever the name you have typed in there, they will mention the name. Okay, carry on. You can ask the question. Or what do you want? Like that. So at that time, you have to unmute and you have to talk something. So then once your matter and everything all are clear, so you have to lower the hand. So first, before the slides, if I go back, you can able to see the option will be like a raise hand. So the next one after you raise the hand, it will be lower hand, right? So once your matter is cleared and once your doubt is cleared, so you have to lower the hand. So once you lower the hand, so there will be no any symbols, no any hand symbols in the part which is allocated for you in the Zoom, right? Plus addition to that raise hand, so you can use either the symbols like once you want to praise someone, say one of your friend has a birthday or one of your friend told the correct answer, you can celebrate it, right? So you can use, so most of you have used these emojis in the chats, right? So according to the situation, if you want, you can use them as well, right? So please make sure that so using the appropriate one, so don't for a joke or something, don't do anything silly, right? And one more thing, so the raise hand option will be lowered until you click manually, but these emojis and these symbols will be automatically closed after 3 to 4 seconds, I guess, if I'm not wrong, right? So you don't need to worry about this thing if you have mistakenly tapped something. But if you have the raise hand option, you have to do it manually to take it down, right? And as I told you earlier, so in this setup of machine, so this under the reaction tab, under the reaction button, the raise hand option is there. But when it comes to some different machines, or according to that version we are using, so raise hand option will be publicly available. That means like in the main buttons itself it will be available, and you can't see this reactions button. So that depends on the version, right? As I told you earlier. So in this the meeting, so I have captured this screenshot. So you can able to see this raise hand option is simply outside in the main set of buttons, right? So it is in the main set of buttons, right? So this is how two ways mostly I think. Sure that these options I got a screenshot from the Zoom when I'm going as the guest for the PCs, right? So machines, not for the mobile phone. Mobile phones, similar thing will be there, but you have to go for some options, right? So that will be there. So once you get practice, you can easily find it. So once you see the symbol, it will be identified by you, I believe strongly, right? And the next one is the screen sharing. So there are some situations where you might need to share the screen because sometimes when you have done the answer, so the lecturer might be requesting you to share the screen and show the answer what you have done and something. There might be situation, right? So currently I am doing also the same thing. The screen, I have shared my PowerPoint presentation and doing a small session to you, right? So normally when you do the screen sharing, that depending on the settings of the particular session or the lecture, so mostly sometimes the host might have disabled the sharing depending on the lecturer who is creating the Zoom link. So mostly it will be blocked. So if it is so, you can request the lecturer politely, sir, I cannot able to share, please enable it, right? So then that particular lecturer will enable you, and after that when you click the screen, so you will be able to see a small box containing all the applications you have opened currently, plus this whiteboard and the iPhone, iPad, and the main screen. So since I am using the two screens in my machine, so screen 1 and screen 2 are there. So you can share the whole screen, or you can share a particular application. So you can, if you want to share only the Word document, so the Word document will be listed in here, and you can share that particular Word document in there, right? Then uh, okay, so then once you click that particular one, which one you want to share, and you can then click the share button. So in here, I want to share the screen 2, And after I click the screen 2, I just click the share. So once you click the share, it will be shared to all the persons. So now all the people in this Zoom session can be able to see my screen. So similar to that, the persons who are in the session might see that screen, right? And once the screen is started, so there's a very interesting option is they are called annotation. So once the screen is shared, you will be able to see this kind of panel. So normally the Zoom panel will be different, and later on you will be seeing a different kind of panel. In the view option, so you might see a thing called annotate, right? So you might be a thing called annotate, but this is also a small issue is there. Depending on the version, sometimes the annotation will not be there for the other people who are in there. For the person who shared, surely will get that annotation, right? So in the annotation, I am not going to go much deeper. So there are some interesting things you can understand. So after the annotation is clicked, you will see this kind of a small menu pop up in that session. A small menu, right? A small menu will be there other than that Zoom main control panel. So here there are a lot of options are there. Actually, I'm not going to go through everything. A few things I'll just mention. The first one is some drawing tools, and there will be something. Give me a sec, and there will be something like highlighted things which I am currently using, and some symbols and lot of things might be there. A straight arrow if you want to use similar things. There are a lot of things are there. If you want to discover, you can discover it yourself, right? And there will be option to clear the things as well. So you have drawn something, so you have drawn something, you want to clear it, so clear the whiteboard. So similar to the whiteboard, you can clear the things, right? So you have to just click the clear and clear all button, everything will be cleared. So since it is a screenshot, so these things are available in here, right? So that's the thing. So these things will be make you more interactive towards a similar kind of it will make you your mentality in a similar kind of you are in a physical class, because in the physical class normally a lecturer or teacher they will draw or write something in the whiteboard and they will erase it. So similar option is here available, and normally in the classes, as I told you earlier, you raise the hand and ask some question. So the similar thing is available here, and you can, and advanced things are available. You can chat between the staffs, and you can go for some other emojis and everything. So more and more things are there, right? And similar to that, similar to drawing tool, there are some stamps available, a tick, cross, star, heart, question mark, something like that. So like that, if you're really interested, you can discover more these kind of things using the internet, right? You can refer any kind of videos and you can see. And and the important part is breakout room. Mostly the lecturers will start to do, because the number of students are high. So similar to the, if you are in the physical classroom, we will be giving you some group activity. So the same group activity can be done in the Zoom as well. So we can make you to the breakout rooms, and in the breakout rooms we can allocate different number of people, or you can join to the relevant group you want to go, and you can do the thing. So I will show you a small screenshot how to join. So once the lecturer has enabled, you will be able to see extra button in there that is called the breakout room. In there, if you click join a breakout room button, so number of rooms, so you can think the rooms as the group. So you can just think the room as the group, right? So you can join any one of the groups. So for example, in this screenshot, we try to create a two groups, that means two rooms, right? So depending on the lecturer, so the lecturer can automatically allocate you for a particular group, or they can ask you to join your willing group. So in this case, it is in the second case. So there you can use this. You have to just click the join button, and if you click the yes one, then you can join it. So once you are joining, it will be like this one, joining to the room 2. Okay. So once you go in there, you can there will be like 5 or 6 members depending on the number of population in your class. And you can talk among yourself, and whatever the task given by the lecturer, particular lecturer, you can do it. And once you are done, you can can leave the breakout room. So you can leave the breakout room means, so there will be two options available. You can leave the whole meeting. Please don't do that unless the lecturer has told you. Or if you leave the breakout room, you will be in the main session. So main session will be there. Okay. So that's all for the basic understanding of the Zoom session, how to join and what are the basic things. Yeah, plus there are lots of things can be done in the Zoom. If you are really interested, please go to the internet and there you can find a lot of resources, a lot of interesting things which can be done in the Zoom and try to get something. Okay, try to get something and it will be very interesting. Please believe me, right? And the last part, very importantly, the main target of this session is the code of practice. So as I told you earlier, so even though it's a Zoom session, it's a virtual session. So you have to act as same as you are being in the classroom, right? So that is very important. So because of this pandemic, so there was a chance given to you to be at home. So but it is better to follow this thing with the way which you are in a normal physical classroom, right? So for that we have created a code of practice, right? So I will be letting you some of the main important points in there. It have two major parts. First one is admission to the lecture or session. So that's the first main part. The second one will be after joining the session. So what you have to do and what you cannot do, right? The first one is students need to arrive 5 minutes before the scheduled time. So for example, if the lecture is scheduled around 9 o'clock, mean it is your duty to come around 8:55. If there are any changes to be done, the particular lecturer will surely let you know, right? So that will be the normal progress in here, normal thing in here, right? And the same thing which you are normally doing in the lectures. So if the lecture is at 10 o'clock, so you have to be in there at 10 o'clock physically. So same thing in the Zoom, you have to be there at least at 10 o'clock. 5 minutes before is the important, right? The device being used to be identified by the registration number, student name should be there. So since we don't know, so we can't track all of your names. So once you join or before you join, so whenever the name is asked, so you have to give the registration number and then your name. The pattern will be registration number. For example, if it is 18 APF 1509 space your first name and space your last name. So that should be your name in the Zoom session, right? Uh, and changing the name to something inappropriate is unacceptable. So that also you have to be very careful. So you can't change your favorite actor's name, your favorite gameplay games, and different peculiar names. That is not allowed. So only this registration number and the first name last name format is allowed in the session. So in case if you have joined the session without that name, so you have to rename it once immediately you join the session, right? And with the addition of class, please make sure to keep your microphone muted. So by mistake, that happens always. So for many students, I have been noted. So it is your duty to keep the microphone muted because there will be a lot of noises coming from your home, because I can understand that when you're home and you're at home. So not only we are there, so our parents and the small kids might be there, friends will be there. So it's better to go to a place before the session or before the lecture start, go to a silent place and make sure there will be no noise. But in case there are some houses I know they can't even go to that kind of place, please make sure that the microphone is muted unless you are going to talk or something. And in some cases, like a presentations or some kind of events or something, so you might need to switch on the video feed, right? And sometimes the particular lecturer might have asked you, because there are a lot of chances are there you might just join the session and leave here and there without listening to the lecture. So therefore, the lecturer has the right to ask you to switch on the video. In that case, please make sure that you are properly groomed and dressed in the class, right? Uh, as I told you earlier, the second part of this code of practice is the things you have to follow during the lecture or during the session, right? So once you have entered into the session, So you have to adhere all the rules and ethics of a traditional classroom. Traditional classroom in the sense the physical classroom. So you have to adhere all the rules and regulation which you are following in there. So you can't talk and you can't do other things. You can't do unnecessary things, right? And during the session, if you need to raise a concern or if you want to clarify something, the point which I mentioned you earlier, the raise hand option. So I have taught you how to do that. So raise hand option you can use, or you can use the chat option in the Zoom to clear your doubt or to clear your concern, right? And if you are given a chance to express your idea by unmuting, so you have to keep it short and simple. And please make sure when you are unmuting, so you have to be very careful that you are not in a noisy place, because there are a lot of other people in that particular session. So please make sure that there are no extra noises or very less extra noises are coming from there. And you will be always need to keep the microphones muted unless you will be given a chance to express, or you can raise a concern. As expected of any class interaction, students are to treat each other with courtesy and respect. So you can't use any offensive or inappropriate languages or gestures using that emoji option. You can't do that. So as I told you earlier in the first point of this second part, so you have to follow the all ethics and everything which is coming from which you have to follow in the normal traditional classroom. And the students with the disruptive and unethical behaviors will be removed from the class and you will be in the waiting room, right? So those are the basic things you have to follow. And if something comes up, we will get back to you in the later part of the orientation session, right? So hope I have given you something, and I wish you a good luck. And good luck is always the result of good planning. So if you want to be have the good luck, that means the part of that to be true, so you have to have a good planning. And wish you all the very best. So there will be a Q&A session at the end of this session. So in that, if you have any concerns, you can ask in the YouTube chat, right? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Barnison. Okay. After all the sessions starting from the morning till now, and as you all are enthusiastic individuals who are new to the faculty and who are starting a new life under the shelter of Faculty of Applied Sciences, I think you may have lots of unanswered questions still. Now it's your time to type any questions that you have in YouTube live chat box, and we, the staff, is waiting here to provide answers to all the questions that you have and to help you solve any issues that you have related to the university life. So, students, if you have any questions, you can type them in chat box in the YouTube.
Let me have a word here, Sandani. Um, Thank you for all the presenters and the participants, especially. I know that it has been a long and a tiring day for the students who are joining in an online session for the first time at the university level. So hopefully you are still energetic, right? So we are really looking forward to have any comments or any questions from through the chat window. In case if you need any clarification on whatever things that we have discussed today, you are welcome to ask now, and we will be able to respond to your chat requests online. Right, especially what we did today is nothing much, right? We didn't really get into any of the technical aspects of your studies as yet. It's just an introduction to what you are going to experience in the next month or so and their orientation program, and then there onwards for the next 4 years of your undergraduate life. However, what we tried today is to get all of you into the same page. Right, we know that there can be students coming from very rural areas and under difficult backgrounds where you have not really got a good opportunity to involve on the online sessions earlier and so on. And we know that some of you may have been extremely mobile in the online systems, and you may not have listened to anything new today. But in the university classrooms, one thing that we try to use or try to do is having an equal opportunity and fair chance for everybody to come to the same level, to the same stage. As Professor Kosartage was saying today in the morning, it's your duty to come there, but we will make the path. We will make the stairs for you to climb, right? So today what we did was just getting all of you into the same stage, to the level, to a level that is more of a fundamental, right? From here onwards, we are going to start the English learning tomorrow, from tomorrow onwards, according to the descriptions of the program you received from Mr. Derek. And in the meantime, we will also have other sessions related to the student life and the functionality of the university and so on. So, Mr. Karlinga, do we have any questions in the YouTube Lively?
Yeah. So there's another one question. We will take the let's get all the questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Over to you. You can just take the forum. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. What about the LMS? So that's the first question that they are asking. So regarding the LMS, we will give you the training, kind of an in-depth training in the later part of the session. So that's about it. But for your Zoom sessions starting from tomorrow, you don't have to interact with the LMS. But when you are starting your lectures, you need to interact with the LMS. So before that, we will give you the training on the LMS and the access for them as well. And the other question is, what is the talent show you have mentioned in our schedule? So, Samsa, do you have any answer?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the question is, what is that talent show you have mentioned in our schedule?
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a kind of a social function to end the orientation program, because as the student representative, Mr. Hasaru Nirmana, spoke to you about, university education is not only the academics, but also there are many extracurricular activities that you are allowed to do and you are welcome to do in the university environment. And we also have a session during the orientation program on balancing the academic and the extracurricular life during your academic career, academic tenure, right? And in addition to that, there will be a session at the last day of the orientation program where there is a body called the Art Circle of the university. And it's been directed by Professor Sangeet from the Faculty of Social Sciences and Languages. And Professor Sangeet is going to have a session with you about aesthetics, during which time he will also try to get inputs from you and identify talents that you have and so and so, and advise you on ways of putting your talents together into an online virtual talent show, right? So we just thought it will be at least an icebreaker before you really start your academic sessions on the 30th of August. So before that, we will just have a kind of a amusement session. So we just entertainment session where you can express your ideas openly through whatever artistic media that you have, and we will just be spectators. And it's a stage that we are trying to set for you. And of course, we may get help from some students as well. But our main aim is to have your talents being showcased. Many people from the art circle and almost all the lecturers and others who are senior students and who are doing the Kala Aulela and other things in the student groups or student bodies may also join there as spectators to see what a talented group we have in our first year as the freshers. So that's the idea. Hope I answered. Unfortunately, in your YouTube live there is no way of continuing chats, but I guess I answered your question.
And there's another question.
Tell me, sir.
I think
I'm in a session. What do you want, sir?
yeah, Banujan, your mic is yeah. Thank you.
So another question which is coming from Udar Sampath: when will start our first semester?
30th of August, Monday.
30th of August, Monday. 30th of August, Monday. And another question. Yesterday we got an email regarding a Google group. Can you please explain a bit about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Sorry, I was just checking off on the chat that is going on within our group. Yeah, the Google groups are the way that we are going to use. That is the mode that we are going to use for the English sessions, right? Unfortunately, I was in another meeting, therefore I couldn't attend the entire session that Mr. Derek conducted. Was Derek, Mr. Derek explaining the structure of the course, so how the groups are being divided, Kalinga?
It's based on the departments. There are 7 groups.
But it has not been described yet, right?
No. Udara Sampath. Its name is Udara Sampath. Udara, if you are listening, please send your index number. We will make the necessary arrangements. Okay.
Yeah, the Google groups are being set. There will be 7 Google groups, and each of you will be added into one of those 7 Google groups. Those groups are according to your departments. So all the members in the CIS department will be grouped into 2 groups because there are 202 students. There will be 101 in CIS 1 and 101 students in CIS 2. Then all the FST students, food science and technology, will be in one group. All the PSTs will be in one group. All the NRs will be in another group, and all the the sports science students, the students who are following the sports science and management degree, will be in one group, while the physical education students will be in the second group. So there are 7 such groups, and there are 28 lessons your English program is being scheduled with. So all the 7 groups will be meeting, will be doing all the 28 sessions, and there are various instructors that are offering each and every session during the 14 English days of the orientation program. So there are 14 days of the orientation program in which English will be taught. For each of those days, there are 2 sessions, one from 8 to 10, another from 3 to 5. Different instructors will be delivering different lessons. For a given group, there will be 28 lessons covered within these 14 days. And each instructor who is allocated to take each group on an each day, on an each session, they will send the Zoom invitation to this Google group. That's why the Google groups are being made. Let me also answer the question about LMS. The LMS is being, for those who are not familiar with LMSs, that those are learning management systems. Learning management systems are designed it can be designed in any education institute in order to enroll a group of students into a single subject course, and so that the relevant teacher can manage that group just by a single click and provide the instructions, provide material, provide videos, and so and so. All that can be done through a single system. That's what we call an LMS. Of course, we have a very well managed LMS in the university. We have a specific learning management system for the Faculty of Applied Sciences, and that is what we are going to use for the academic classes. So when we start your academics, the first semester on the 30th of August, we are going to use the LMS, and we are going to use the LMS for the examinations as well. If your examinations have to be held online, we are not wishing for that, but it can happen. We hope the vaccination will be over before your exams come, and hopefully we will try to have your practical lessons and the examinations physically, face to face, in Delhi. However, until then, the lectures will be conducted through the LMS, and in case if we have to go, we can even conduct the examinations via LMS. Currently, we are finishing our first LMS examination session, which was extremely successful. That is one very big achievement that we have, because personally, I was reluctant to go for the examinations through the LMS because that it can be unfair for some students. But our very capable IT staff, including Mr. Kalinga, Mr. Banajan, Ms. Sanduni, in this group, plus there are many more. They have, headed by Professor Vasantapriyan and Professor Kumar. They have made this LMS working very fine, and we have just conducted a complete examination for an entire batch through the LMS. So, however, we thought we will not use an LMS for the orientation English intensive course due to few reasons. One reason that you are also still freshers, right? There are a few other reasons as well, because we are now cleaning our LMS for a new to start a new semester, and likewise there are a few other things. So we will go with much easier way of going through the Google groups. However, during the last day of the orientation session, we will have an entire afternoon. Mr. Kalinga will be teaching you about, will train you how to use the LMS of the Faculty of Applied Sciences. It was a detailed answer. Hope I didn't miss anything.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for the answer. And so there was an interesting question here. Can we ask questions in Sinhala during the meetings?
Of course.
Of
Of course you can. And as I told you, right, this is a very important point, right? Because there can be some students here who have not really had a, I would say, organized training on English. I know that you must have been studying English in many places. But if you have not had a well-organized training in English, this 4 years, actually not the entire 4 years, the opportunity that you have got in the university would be your last opportunity in your entire lifetime to master in English. Higher education in the world is being taught in English, and you are going to, now Professor Kosatake told you in the morning about the differences between the school and the universities, right? For each and every subject in the school, you had textbooks. And if you can just, cram the textbook and you can pass the exam. You may not really get 100 out of 100 just by cramming the Achupata, but you can pass the exam. But it may not be the case in the university. In the university, there should be a lot of self-learning to be done, right? We are allocating half the time of your credit for you to do self-learning. That has to be done through hot science. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් විද්‍යාව ඉස්කෝලේ අච්චුපොතකට යන්න අවුරුදු 10ක ප්‍රමාණ කාලයක් ගත වෙනවා. Only the well-established scientific knowledge will go into the school textbooks. But the university student is a person who is learning from day-to-day developing concurrent science. That concurrent science will be published in academic journals every week. Now, this is something that you may have heard when you are watching news during the corona period, right? Many specialists, many doctors and specialists on these pandemic situations were referring to papers, පර්යේෂණ පත්‍රිකා. ඊයේ පළ වෙච්ච පර්යේෂණ පත්‍රිකාවක මෙහෙම තිබුණා. Not only the specialists, even the ministers and politicians were talking about research papers during the COVID-related discussions. That's the hot science. Whenever something gets published in a research paper, in an academic journal, that is a contribution to the science. And all those science are usually being published on a day-to-day basis in English. So if you are a science, you are to be a scientist. There's no other way than studying it through English language. It has become the global language for science, right? So that this is going to be your last chance to master English, and not the entire 4-year period. The first year. During the first year, we will tolerate you talking in Sinhala, or unfortunately, I am incapable of speaking Tamil. It's my fault. However, in Sinhala, or if you want to speak in Tamil, I can get a colleague to be with me and we can discuss in Tamil as well, can be accommodated only during the first year, right? You can ask questions in your own language, and we can discuss in your language, but we prefer not to do that. We prefer not to do that. අපි කැමති නෑ ඒක කරන්න. ඒක habit එකක් කරගන්න අපි කැමති නෑ. However, from the second year onwards, it has to be English because it is mentioned in your courses that the mode of instructions is English, right? So that will be followed strictly. And even, this is something that some of the lecturers may not like, but we usually go with this as a practice. We allow students to use some of the Sinhala terms even when at the time that they are answering the exam papers, right? But not the entire answer from top to bottom in Sinhala. But if you want to explain something that you cannot really explain in English, if you don't have the words to say what you want to say, you can use some Sinhala sections in your question paper answers even, but only during the first year, not beyond that. Hope it's clear.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of students are saying that they haven't included, they don't have the access to Google groups, the relevant Google groups. There's a common message from the group admins that please go and check the spam folders, the emails maybe in that folder, or for the students you haven't been added to the groups yet, they will be added soon. So still, if it is not added, please let us know by contacting. Is it okay to contact them through their mentors, sir?
Yes, that is one. That is one possibility. One other thing that we can do is, while we are here, can we ask one student to voluntarily be a student representative for the 7 groups, so that we will make sure that we don't really need only one student, but it's going to be a group of about 100, 70 to 100 students will be there in each group. So can we get like 2 or 3 students who can voluntarily be representatives of each group, and then we can send those links directly to their emails. What happens is when these bulk emails are being sent, they can go to the spam, right? So if you are familiar with the spam folders in your Google inboxes or whatever the mail inboxes, just check in the spam. You may find these messages in the spam. One other thing is that we can get a few volunteer group representatives for this for the orientation program. What do you think, Kalinga? Is that a good way to go?
Yeah, yeah. It's a good way to go. We have 2 ways to do it now. Students, please check with your group members and check with your mentors. We will try our best to add everybody into your groups. If and everybody needs to be in. It's a must to have a group for everybody. And there are a couple of questions that you haven't been contacted from any of your mentors. So we will make sure to contact everybody through from your mentors. So that questions come from a couple of students. Students, if you don't mind, put your index numbers. We will take a note on your index numbers and verify which mentor under you belongs to, and we will make sure to get that happen. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yeah, so a lot of students have a group problem, sir. This this group thing. And another question is, you haven't this Kalpani Arivansha, she doesn't have any mentors group. Do we have a mentors group? Yes, I think we have a mentors group.
Mentor.
Yes, mentors group. it's meant.
Okay, actually, I mean, it's not okay. Let me just explain to the students that it's not. Um, okay, what we have done is we have allocated a single staff member for about 10 students or so, right? So the staff member can make a group between among the mentees that have been allocated under him, but it is not a must. Some staff members will keep contacts individually with each of their mentees, right? So it's not a must to make a what you call mentee group, but each student should get a mentor. So thank you so much for those questions regarding you not being contacted by your mentors as yet. I would really like if Mr. Kalinga can extract those messages so that we are not really going to make any issue out of this. We are going to just give a reminder to the mentor to speak to their students, and so that the students can be communicated and kept communicating.
Yeah.
So
we can have the live chat after the call as well. After the talk.
okay, and the student name is with the registration number, right?
Students, if like there are people with just the name, if you haven't been contacted your name up to now from your mentor, please type your index number here, and we will make sure to make that happen.
Yeah, just say that your index number, name, and don't know my mentor.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, messages are coming now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Those who don't know your mentors by now, we will communicate those mentors to contact you, right? This is actually very good. Very good.
Yeah, Isiru Iranga, you are please type your index number. Then we will keep record of your index number as well.
Okay, one issue that we need to sort out as quickly as possible is this Google Groups issue. So tomorrow morning from 8 to 10, each student should get an email that a instructor will be conducting the lesson number N for you, right? So there will be 28 lessons. There are 7 instructors. So one instructor will be conducting one out of those 28 lessons to each of the students tomorrow from 8 to 10. Then again, another lesson from 3 to 5 tomorrow, right? So if a single student in the NR group, I'm taking as an example, if a single student in the NR group receives a message that it is the instructor A and lesson N, that student can send a message to all the NR students, because all the NR students are in a single group. Similarly, all the FST students are in the same group. All the PST students are in the same group. All the sports sciences students, or the students who are registered for the sports science and management students, are in one group, and all the physical education students are in one group, right? So for all those 5 groups, if one person receives a message that is related to the entire student community of that particular academic group, the only issue would be among the CIS students, because CIS group is too large for a single session, so that we have divided that into 2 groups. One thing that we can do is, specifically, if we can get voluntary representatives from the CIS group now, we can send the details, how the student composition of CIS 1 and CIS 2 can be sent email to that representative, so that that representative can share it among the group and get things sorted. So there's a little more work for you guys to do tonight, right? We are also going to do that. I mean, we are also going to sort out what is the problem with the Google groups and why some of the students are not receiving them. And we are also going to get the mentors to check with the students about whether they have got the English group that they are attending at tomorrow from 8 to 10. Karinga, are you getting that information as well? Volunteers to be
Yes.
representatives?
Yeah, no, not the representatives.
So we need a few representatives from the CIS department, especially because you need to know what 101 is in one group and the other 101 will be in the other group. Right? You need to know your friends. So we will send the list, including the phone numbers and the email addresses. So you can also do a little help to us by sharing the message among the group.
Okay, sir. I think the students are saying with their index numbers, we can keep track on the index numbers, but a lot of people have this issue.
Is it so?
Yeah. So
So maybe it is not sent yet. Maybe
It's
it will
already
be sent later.
Google group thing is already sent.
No, about tomorrow's
Right.
invitation
No,
may not have been sent yet.
Yes.
Zoom
Maybe.
invitation for tomorrow morning session, you may receive it tonight, right? That is
Yeah.
coming from the relevant instructor, right? What you may have received by now is only that you have been added to this particular group, Google group. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, then Mr. Banujan is saying that few students may not have been added yet. So Mr. Banujan is going to add them soon, right? So there can be some students who are not yet been added because we also received a very late list of students. We have gone 14 rounds of intakes to the Faculty of Applied Sciences, right? Yeah. Hope we have answered many questions. Any additional questions? Anything that we have not answered?
No. I think we got everything. The general things are these mentor issue and the groups issue. I think we have covered everything. Yeah, we are good to go, sir, for the next session.
Okay. Thank you so much, students and the orientation committee. Each member has been working really hard to get this going. And we also have a great support from our Center for Computer Studies. So in addition to the faculties in the university, if you have gone to our website, you may have seen there are a number of centers, including one by the name Center for Computer Studies, which is directed by a staff member from our faculty again, Mr. Dangala. So Mr. Dangala's name has to be mentioned. He has gone out of the way, doing a lot of work for us to get this orientation running well. So even last night, I think he was working later than me to get the emails and the SMSs sent to each of you until last night. So thank you so much. And above all, it's you who made the day today, right? The new students, the new freshers who have made it to the Faculty of Applied Sciences of Sabaragamuwa University. You heard today how lucky you are and what opportunities are left for you from today onwards. So for each of the you, sky is the limit, right? And now you can say mass or even above mass is the limit, right? Because now the limits of the horizons are getting even widening day by day. So it's up to you, as Professor Prasatake very correctly mentioned. Stay focused, and you can be who you want to be in 4 years' time. It's just 4 more years of dedication and focus that we need. Of course, while enjoying your university life, this is the best time in the life, and you have to get this through in a very valuable way, right? In a way that you won't regret later. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for gracing today's orientation program. For each of these 610 students who have joined us, I know that we may have few students may have had problems and may not have been able to join today, but they can watch the video from the YouTube. It will be there. However, we will try our best to have good attendance to the sessions that we start from tomorrow onwards. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. And we are looking forward to seeing you in English classes tomorrow, in individual group classes, right? Thank you. That's it from my end. But if anyone in the orientation committee want to say anything, it's time for you. I think it's important that we introduce each department representative in the orientation committee. Can each department representative please introduce yourself, name, and the students can get all our details from the website, right? All our email addresses are there in the website. If you go to the faculty, there are 5 departments. Under each department, there is a link called academic staff. When you go to the academic staff, for each and every staff member, there is a profile. In those profiles, all our academic details are there, including the university email address. So you can reach us at any of those university email addresses, while each department representative in the orientation organizing committee will speak to you right now from here onwards. So from the CIS, it is Ms. Upeksha Kudagamage. Can you speak to the students, Upeksha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can. Hello. Very good evening, actually. So I'm very happy to be with you guys, and hope you can see me. Okay. And so I'm very happy to be here with you guys, and I warmly welcome you guys to be here. And so I'm really happy that this program is continued like this, and I really hope that you will continue to come here again from tomorrow onwards. And let me introduce myself actually. So I'm Upeksha Kudagamage, and I'm a lecturer from Department of Computing and Information Systems, and we will be meeting in this orientation program as well as when the lectures begin. And so I warmly welcome you all to University of Sabaragamuwa, University of Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Upeksha. It was a very surprising call for you, I guess, because I didn't plan this to happen. So thank you for the quick response. And then shall we go with any of the other department representatives? Who is ready?
Raised her hand.
Okay, Deep Chandni madam is ready, representing the Natural Resource Department.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
It has been a real pleasure for us to meet you in the morning session. I hope you all had a good session. and we'll be with you throughout the entire program. If any of you need any sort of help, any sort of assistance, please do not hesitate to reach to us, contact us. So that is the most important thing that I have to tell you. Other than that, I think by now, my department students, then our students, should be knowing all of us, almost all of us, maybe through the web, and we have been in the morning session and so on. So it has been a real nice day. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Devchandi. And who else is here for PST department? We have Ms. Chandrika Malkanti. Are you there, Chandrika? You're muted, Chandrika.
Okay, sorry. Good evening, everyone. So I'm Chandrika Arupala from Department of Physical Sciences and Technology. So you will be meeting me when you are following computer science related subjects. Anyway, I want to congratulate all of you for making it possible to become a student in Sabaragamuwa University, and we are looking forward to meet you and work together and try to contribute to the nation at large. So as Ms. Deepchandi told, we will be there for anything. So you can contact us at any time. And I hope this sessions that we had today would have inspired and motivated you to start this journey. Hopefully, if you like, if you have any concerns related to your mentors and other stuff, particularly in PST department, you can always contact me. Good luck and see you soon.
Thank you, Chandrika. And we have Samira to represent the sports sciences, Milani to represent physical education, and Yuan to represent food sciences. So one of you can take the turn.
Good evening.
Yes,
sir. So is it okay if I not go with the video?
Okay, that's fine. That's
so
fine.
Good evening, students. I'm Samira from the Department of Sports Sciences and Physical Education. So I'm very glad to see you today, and hoping to working with you and support you for next 4 years, and hope to see your talents and your progress for next 4 years, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Samira. Is Milani in? So Samira can speak for Milani as well if Milani is not available at the moment, because Milani will be handling the physical education group, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we have like 169 students for like 90 for physical education and 69 for sports sciences, and so similarly, as head of the department said in the morning, like we have common courses and also the different courses. So basically, we will, Miss Milani and myself, like Miss Milani will be taking care of you, the physical education students, as the department representative throughout this orientation program, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Samira. And Ms. Yvonne Fernando, representing the food science department, had an issue with the audio, but I think it's sorted.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. She has joined from the phone now, so yeah.
Yeah, I warmly welcome all the students to the Faculty of Applied Sciences, and all the food science students warmly welcome you all. And we look forward to meet you all on Friday evening session. And all the students can see and meet and talk with their mentors on Friday evening session. And we all are ready to meet you. And you will be sent different Zoom links with each of your relevant mentors, so you can meet them. And so if you have any question, so you can ask from your mentors during evening session on Friday.
Okay, thank you, Yvonne. What Yvonne Madam was explaining you is about the afternoon session on Friday. That's going to be the first departmental meeting that we have at the orientation session. So tomorrow you have 2 English sessions. Then Friday morning you will be listening to the 2 interesting talks, one on the history of the Sabaragamuwa University, which I briefed you today, will be elaborated with photographs on Friday morning. And then there will be a very important session conducted by the proctor of our university. The position proctor is in Sinhala, it's Vinaybar Niladari. So proctor is of the entire university, is again representing our faculty. Professor Kapila Ratnayaka is going to talk to you about the rules and regulations in the student life in a university, together with the help of the marshals of the university. So universities, now these days you must be hearing a lot about Vishwavidyalaya military karane, right? So that is a very pretty important debate that is going going in the country, which is something that we also think could create problems, because the universities have our own ways of disciplining students. That of course is pretty rough as well, right? We are not really letting our students or staff members to do whatever they want with Valburu Nidahasa, right? There are a lot of regulations, rules, and they will be kind of enforced. Those rules are enforced by the proctor and the marshals. So the proctor, Professor Kapila, and the 2 marshals will be speaking to you after Professor Priyanath's talk about the history. That's about Friday morning. And in Friday afternoon, you are going to meet all the, most probably you will be meeting all members of your academic department. So you will be seeing your professors, your senior lecturers, and your department head more closely. And there will be a pretty interesting session on Friday afternoon with your department members. So that will be done through a small group in Zoom, right? Friday morning lectures will go on the YouTube link, not in Zoom, but all the English lectures will be conducted in Zoom through Google Groups. Okay, I think that's more than enough for a day. You must be tired, and we will give you some time to breathe. And see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Have a great evening, and I'm going to shut myself out of this virtual meeting. And Mr. Kalinga can take over if there are anything to be said.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sadhuni, over to you. We can conclude the session after playing the university song.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, one more thing I just wanted to tell you. Mr. Kalinga, Mr. Banujan, and Ms. Sadhuni are the IT group in the orientation committee. I just wanted to introduce you the entire orientation committee at the end. So you got to know all the department representatives. In addition to that, we have a IT army here, headed by Mr. Kalinga Gunawardena. Then Mr. Kuhaneshwaran Banujan is a product of our university. He's doing a lot in the program. And Miss Saduni Hettikankanama is another product and who has been the best student of the year during her graduation. And she's also helping us to get through the IT hassle sorted out. So thank you for the IT team as well. Over to you, Saduni.
Thank you so much, sir, for the introduction. And anyway, we are now at the end of the our inaugural day. I will make this a chance to thank everyone who supported to make this endeavor a success, and also to the students who were with us from the beginning. Therefore, to conclude the session, let's stand up for our university song.
Sabaragamuwa sarasariyai, Sabaragamuwa sarasariyai.
තිංගලයන ජීවිතයේ කඳු මුදුන් සොයාගෙන ආගල කන්ද නගින්නේ ආගල කන්ද නගින්නේ පහනින් එළිය ලබාගෙන මනරම් විදුනන අකුරු දරාගෙන කළුගම් පතුලේ රුවන් සොයාගෙන උඩුගම් බලා දෙන්නේ උඩුගම් බලා දෙන්නේ කගගින් දුදු අඳුර නසාගෙන ඔබෙත් මගෙත් හීනය කලලිවන දිනය උදාවන්නේ දිනය උදාවන්නේ මේ ඔබේ සවියයි මේ මගේ සවියයි සබරගමුව සරසවියයි සබරගමුව